As the corporate sector evolves, Burka Africa remains committed to cultivating world-class thought leaders and providing innovative, human-centered solutions that shape a prosperous future for African governments and businesses. About Burka Africa. Burka Africa is a platform that houses expert consultants from across the African sub-region that provide strategic sustainable leadership, organizational development, corporate governance, coaching, and ESG advisory services to businesses and African governments. Burka's strategic thrust is to strengthen strategic alignment for Africa's development by bridging the gap between governments, businesses, and industry experts for leadership and business solutions, serving as a center for excellence and transformative leadership insights in Africa. The consortium is dedicated to shaping ethical, visionary, productive, and sustainable businesses and leadership across Africa. Through advisory, training, and coaching, Burka supports executives, managers, and organizations in achieving excellence, growth, and sustainable impact. Visit our website www.burkafrica.com for more information.
Africa, proudly brought to you by Burka Africa and L&D Africa. Also streaming live on all Burka Africa and L&D Africa's social media handles. Growth and Grind Africa.
Learn it.
Live it.
Lead it.
Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining us. And a warm welcome to another inspiring episode of Growth and Grind Africa, your transformative talk show and go-to platform for raw, real, and relevant conversations that shape mindsets of a rising continent. At Growth and Grind Africa, we believe that success isn't just linear. The road is often steep, with sharp turns, slow climbs, and unexpected dips. And it's in those moments of challenges and uncertainties that our greatest learning happens. That's the essence of today's conversation. In today's episode, we're going to be unpacking what it truly means to be on a learning curve in your personal or professional life, how to embrace mistakes as part of the growth equation, and how leaders, entrepreneurs, young professionals, and all of us can build resilience and agility through the process of learning. We've got a very special guest, and as always, voices who are walking this journey, grinding through it, and gaining wisdom that we can draw from. So today, get ready to reflect, reset, and reignite your mindset with your host, Lizzie-Ann Kwabeji, and Coach Margaret. Margaret.
Doing this with Lizzie-Ann Kwabeji and Margaret Jackson, also known as Her Royal Highness, HRH. Today, we are honored to be in the studio with one of Ghana's finest. He founded an institution. And at that time, when he founded his institution, it was new, it was fresh. We hadn't seen it in Ghana before, something like that. This gentleman was awarded the plaque for Lifetime Achievement for Innovation in Africa. That was in 2013, recognized as a Johnny Walker Giant. He keeps on walking. In 2012, in a global campaign celebrating exemplary leaders. He was named overall best entrepreneur at the Made in Ghana Entrepreneurs Award in 2011. Proved as one of only 16 top entrepreneurs in Africa in the book Africa's Greatest Entrepreneurs by Moki Makura. He is also honored as Ghana's most respected CEO 3 times. Can you beat that? 3 times.
That's awesome.
Yeah. 2008, 2010, 2012. Received the National Order of the Star of the Volta Officers Division from the President of Ghana for his contributions to national development. His contributions to national development. Awarded CIMG Marketing Man of the Year in 2006. Wow, can you beat that? I'm sure by now our viewers have guessed who we are talking about. Yes, if you thought it is Captain Prince Kofi Amoah being retired in the house, then you are right. He is right here with us. And Charlie, this man, he's oozing with wisdom. You better grab your pen, your paper, take notes, because they don't come easy. I listened to him and he said his father once told him that if you have soft ears, Captain, what did your father say? Would like to hear from you. Say hello and repeat that for our audience.
All listeners and all those who have joined us on this program. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm being hosted by 2 powerful women who are going to extract.
Awesome. We are humbled, Captain.
Yeah, but to your point, my father said experience can be very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You can even lose your life trying to acquire experience. But if you have soft ears, you get them for free.
Yeah. So I hope, listeners, you have soft ears. But before we listen to this great man, let's go back to the streets to listen to what our audience, we know that those of you who listen to us are the ones who spoke to Stanley. He went out there and sampled opinions on the learning curve. So please don't touch that dial. Stay tuned. Let's listen to Stanley and the others.
So I recently learned that prioritizing tasks and managing time wisely can be a total game changer. It's amazing how much more you can accomplish when you focus on what really matters here.
One thing I recently learned is the value of breaking complex tasks into smaller, measurable tasks. It's changed the way I work by helping me focus on progress rather than perfection, which has significantly improved both my efficiency and the quality of my output.
One of the things I've learned recently is related to human behavior. So the way you behave with people, that's the same way, it has like an effect on how they relate with you. So if you're giving people bad energy, that's what you're going to receive. I realized that, like, when it comes to some people, I'm super friendly with them, and so they take me for granted. So, like, it has changed the way I see people because I just had an experience and it was recent. So these days, I'm trying to know my limits when it comes to human beings.
Hi, I'm Alexandra. I've learned to focus on fewer tasks rather than trying to do everything at once. And I think it has helped me to work more intentionally and achieved better results. Also, I've learned that asking for feedback early makes a difference. Instead of waiting until a task is done, I check along the way, and it saves time and improves the outcome.
Oh, thank you, Coach. Listen to what the young people we interviewed said. It's amazing, and that takes me right to Captain. Captain, it's good to have you here. When you set up UT Trust, is it Unique Trust?
Unique Trust.
Unique Trust.
Financial service, yeah.
Financial services. It was new. We didn't have so many of them in Ghana. What inspired you? Because you were an army officer, and then this finance. What happened? What informed that?
It's a long story, but to cut it short, I left the army unceremoniously, saying this was 1982, and the army had changed completely from the army that I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, I took a walk. And I thought I was going to go out of the country, but an inner voice told me that this is where God put me, so I have to stay. So I stayed. And there were no jobs for me to apply for. So then I became a businessman by default. And as with every business, the biggest problem is looking for funds to fund your dreams and your projects and things like that. And I went to my bankers at the time for an amount of equivalent of $20,000. And I'm waiting for about 2 months plus. They finally said they had approved, and I went to the bank excited to pick up my 20,000, which I had secured with my house and the project paper and everything, analysis, and they had approved 3,000. So I had applied for 20,000, waited over 2 months, and they approved 3,000. And you won't believe it. I got so furious, I insulted everybody in the bank. And I closed my account and banged the desk of the branch manager and everything. Fuming, I go home and slept over it. But in the night, I just said, so me, I'm a graduate from school of administration. I am a chartered accountant. I'm a military man. I've done business for 15 years. I've got a property to back my demand for a loan. And if I cannot get the right amount at the right time, then I don't know what the banks in Ghana were doing, at least at the time. And then something said, you can't fight it. It's always been the same story. So why don't you set up an institution to correct the wrong in the system?
Captain, please put a pin in this. This is to our listeners. This is amazing. He ranted, he raved, but he said, what can I do about this?
Precisely.
So sometimes out of school, we say, I'm not finding a job. Maybe an experience will trigger something. You will identify a gap. So what I hear Captain say right now is, as we say in Ghana, shine your eyes. You may identify a gap out of your frustration. You may identify something that needs to be changed and go for it. Captain,
actually, you said it well. I think for most businesses, you start business out of frustration and trying to correct the wrong. Because business is about solving problems. And this was a problem which hit me so badly. I got so furious and got so irritated. So then I said, I think I can change the narrative when it comes to lending for SMEs and for the informal sector and individuals. So the very next morning, I went to Bank of Ghana to get the requirements for setting up such a company. And I wrote a report, my feasibility report and profitability, whatever, everything was in there. Those days, the capital requirement was minimal. I think it was about 100,000 old cedis, something like that. And I paid the monies and started waiting for the go ahead from Bank of Ghana to set up my finance house. So that's how it started. It was actually out of frustration, annoyance, and the bad vibes that I got trying to look for a loan myself.
So you turned this into positive energy.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. So Captain, please tell us. I've also listened to you, spoken to a few people, and they say what you write. I know you're going to talk about your 2 books, but your second book says building a winning team.
Yeah.
And to the listeners, this is not because he's writing, but he had a winning team. So I'm a young entrepreneur. I've set up my business. How do I ensure that I have a winning team? How do you build a winning team from your Ghanaian experience as an African?
Well, I think we have limited time, but let me try and sum up something. The success factors in growing any business are basically four success factors.
So please, I hope you are writing. He says 4 success factors.
Yeah.
No, this is a platform where we want to learn, we want to grow. Yeah. So please, your pen, your paper, 4 success factors. Let's listen to Captain.
Yeah, the first one, your business must be making profit. Otherwise it will die. So profitability is a requirement. The second one, you must have customers that believe in your products and your services and will come repetitive and be referring and so on. So having the customers that will actually buy the business up is also the number two. Number three is you must have products and services that people want. If you lose the edge in delivering the products and services that people want, you lose or you can't be successful. Now, the fourth one is the people. The people as in your team, the staff that make the team to produce the goods and services and so on and so forth. Now, interestingly enough, everybody will talk about 4 success factors, but I would say that it's 1 plus other 3. One, because the most important by far is the people thing. The people thing as in how you manage your people to create, and you have to create a culture based on the values that will make sure you achieve the mission and the vision of the company. And it's the most difficult part. And I say 1 and 3 because the people will shape the products and services and they will deliver it. The people will react to the customers and convince them and retain them and so on and so forth. And through that, the people will make sure that the company is profitable. So it's really, really, if you ask me, the problem is 1 and maybe 3 others. And the people thing takes about 90%, if you ask me, of the problem.
How do you get the people to gel with you?
It's doable. And I like that question very much. Let's step back a little bit. The typical African or Ghanaian is being brought up in a way where we have all sorts of problems. For example, a typical African, which we all know, does not respect time. A typical African doesn't even care too much about his neighbor. He's thinking about himself. And we have these negativities in the system, as in the ecosystem that we have, the environment that we have. We have people who take away your ability to concentrate on what you're doing. Typical example is family and friends. You start a business and family demands and so on and so forth will take you out of it. You start a business, your pastor even takes you out of what you're really doing because he's talking about if you like what you have to do for the church and also things. And also your traditional rulers and things will also want to take a part of it. So to manage the people, and you manage certainly based on leadership by example. You, the leader, should draw up the values that will let you achieve your vision and your mission. And the values should be time-tested values, ethical values, at UT to be specific. Our values included, first and foremost, respect for everyone, which means we're not making any differences. Therefore, it means also that we have to put systems and policies in place which will apply to everybody the same measure. Then we have the value of integrity and honesty. Because you see, if people are not honest, they can only derail the system or lead people astray. And if you want to focus on what you want to do and get the right result, everybody must be honest. Then we have
Captain. So how did you check the honest ones out? How did you know who was honest and who was not?
You have policies in place. And you say that you have to be honest. If you tell a lie, you're going home. So you see, when you put those policies in place, you are not joking with it. And you must have the discipline to apply the sanctions irrespective of who commits the offense.
Is that why you used to queue with your staff at the canteen?
It's about respect for everybody.
Yeah.
Because if my staff should plan their work and want to go and have their meal and they get there before me, because I'm saying that respect for everybody, I have to respect them for getting there early. And I used to queue behind them.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's leadership by example. The leader must actually apply the policies and live the policies. So it's quite clear. At UT, everybody knew what will happen to you if you committed a crime. They always say, "Oh, that's it with your kufi." I mean, because the system is clear, and they know I'm not going to spare anything. I'm going to apply the sanctions and so on and so forth. So, apart from the values and all those things, and I didn't finish all the values, but apart from the values and things like that, maybe I should finish this values. I don't mean. you must be a professional, which means you train your people to know exactly what to do and so on and so forth. Then we also had Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I am who I am because of what we are. So it means you do not put yourself first, but you put the company first. And a couple more, like why not? It means you have to be innovative to try and solve problems. Don't just push people away. Listen to them and see what you can do about it. Now, the interesting thing is they should see you, the leader, doing it all the time. And you should reward people who do it. And you should also train people to be able to do that. And the world is about solving the problems of others, about making people feel better, about impacting the world positively. So you actually have to make sure that the people, your people, are also cared for. And because then when you care for them, they now believe in the company as their own, which is solving their problems, and therefore they also give love back to the company. So some of the things that I did, which probably is quite odd, and I don't see people doing it much, is one, I had my telephone number in every reception of UT. And it says, if you are dissatisfied, call the CEO on this number. I don't see CEOs putting their numbers out.
And that was your direct contact?
That's the phone, that's this one.
Wow.
Yes. And, you know, I go to some companies, I call the secretary, I said, oh, boss is knowing, can you please give me his number? Hey, as for that, I have to check for me if I'll give you a number. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, and then not only that, I also showed love for my staff. And not showed, I loved them. Because I normally will meet every staff member at least once a year when they come back from leave. And I'll discuss their personal life, their family life, what they're doing in the company, their career plan, and their career path. And sometimes I have to intervene and say that what your career path is not good enough. You could do something better. And I change them. I go and sit with HR. I say, change and put this guy here because he has a potential.
Beautiful.
So the staff then respond positively. And I tell people that your first family is your company. It's not your wife and your children, or your husband and your children. It's not. Because listen, I know, I like your reaction, you know. Because take a typical worker. You wake up in the morning, if you are from right here or something like that, you wake up maybe about 4:30. And then rush to work, get to work at about, say, 8 o'clock. And then you close about 6 and you get home about 9 o'clock. Where do you live?
In the office.
You live in the company. Because that's your house. You only go to sleep. Your children also sleep. So this is when you are living your life in the company. So the idea is make the staff feel that it's a family place and they love being there. And I used to tell my staff that, listen, the day you wake up and you don't feel like coming to work because of whatever, come and tell me straight that, Chief, something is wrong in this place. I can't.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Now, so by caring for them and making the company area, the family place, and also see this reason why I say it's the first family, that the company also make sure you have the means to look after your family, other family, so
and help you fulfill your vision.
Yes.
Because
so
that's your vision they're coming to bring into reality.
Your first family. It's hard for people to accept that, but that is how I see it.
Captain, actually, that is what it is. And very insightful leadership vibes I'm getting there.
Yeah.
And just to reflect back, I hear values. But before any entrepreneur or any business owner or any leader can talk about values, you need to have systems and policies in place that will make the values workable. That's what I hear from you. Beautiful. So now, talking about leadership, still on the leadership front, you have been one of Ghana's most admired entrepreneurs.
And he keeps walking.
Yes, that's where I'm coming. And looking back at your journey at UT Bank, I just loved where you pitched from bringing the vision to bear out of a gap. From vision to growth and eventual challenges with UT. What part of your story do you feel still holds the deepest lessons for you today? in line with the values?
I think you moved the conversation a bit far ahead. But it's okay. I think I realized my shortfall when it comes to my leadership style in this part of the world. Because let me take it from a different angle. Leadership is not supposed to be that difficult, but it's extremely difficult in Africa.
Why is that so?
Because of the mindset and the value system that we have. Take Mark Zuckerberg, right? That small boy who wears t-shirt and goes to sit
I like the
on
way
CNN.
you said that, small boy.
Now he found a good product that people loved and people patronized, and then put a team together and they delivered because everybody knew their role, or the systems were there to protect the company. Now you have the same situation in Ghana where maybe somebody finds a good product service. He has huge problem dealing with the people, but the mindset of the people is quite different. And I will show you only one example. So in the US, in Europe and things like that, as your child is growing up, the child knows that at age 18, they are leaving the home. And at age 18 on the dot, they come to say, thank you, mom, thank you, dad. Thanks for everything that you've done for us. We're leaving. Or I'm 18, so now I'm going to pay my portion of the rent and utilities, whatever. That's what your child will do. In Africa, let's stay here in Ghana. After pension, 60 years, you pack baggage and say, this is our house for our grandfather, me too, I'm coming.
Going to my family house. But some don't even wait till 60.
So
they marry and bring them to the family
the
house.
mindsets are completely different. That's why you have a lot of work to do. Now, to the question that you raised, I believe in systems and structure. Maybe the military played a lot of part in it. And I do not like influencing or going around systems. So I do not, for example, build a kind of network, which is necessary. But for me, I think if you're doing good, you shouldn't worry about those things. That network that you have to have powerful chiefs, powerful pastors, powerful politicians behind you for you to succeed, especially when you get recognized like I was recognized. And I didn't have pastors. I don't even go to church like people go to. I didn't have politicians that I was flirting with or whatever. I didn't care about my family people because my family people who fell foul of the rules that I had employed, who fell foul of the rules, I sacked. So my point here is that I was sticking out like a sore thumb. No support base, so to speak, the Ghana support base. Because I was clear about what I was doing. I was doing what I think God wants me to do to try and raise the lives of people, irrespective of where they're coming from, but if they have what it takes. And the system doesn't like that. And of course, you know, I also talk my mind freely. So I'm sure I said things that irritated some people. So to your point, it's not that I regret it, but it's a lesson that I should learn. But it's too late. I wasn't cut out like that. I can't all of a sudden go and sit by some pastor and pretend that I'm a supporter of the church. And so I can't do it. I'll always be me, Kofi Amwabe. And if you don't like me, that's too bad. I will pay the price for it when the bank went down. So that is a shortfall, but for me it's positive, except that in our environment we find it as a shortfall, and therefore you create a lot of enemies and there are all sort of enviness and jealousies and they do the things that they do. I hope I've answered you.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Captain, you have. You pivoted because you create a lot of enemies, you know, and normally when people create a lot of enemies, when people hit against a wall, they recoil. That is not Captain. How do you manage that? How you pivoted? Did you ever think you were going to write books? What brought about the change? What is it that keeps you walking?
I think it's my philosophy to life and living. You know, let me just share that philosophy in a short time. It's funny how people behave, but I think first and foremost, everything that you see and therefore exists has been created by someone or something. So if you see a human being, something has created a human being. Now, the next question is, why would anybody or anything create something? You create something only when you have a purpose in mind, that you have the mind of bettering your situation. So, in very short terms, it means if you know that human beings have been created, were created with a purpose in mind. Now, interestingly enough, we come into the world with absolutely nothing and very feeble. And yet, we are supposed to cause an impact or make the world better. And so how do we go about it? We go about it by staying healthy, and initially your parents will make sure you're protected and doing so. Get a lot of education, acquire material things, stay happy, and whatever you acquire, use it to impact other people's lives. Because if you don't even use it to impact other people's lives, you die and leave it. Because you won't go with anything. So long as I have life, and this is when I'm answering your question, so long as I have life, I always ask myself, what can I do with this precious life that God has given me? It doesn't matter the situation. So to your point, when UT Bank was collapsed and I was went through all sort of interrogation, and I was put in court. I'm still in court, by the way.
I realized.
I asked myself, what do I have to impact the world? And I said, well, at least God has taken me through all these experiences, and I built this and recognized here, and I have a voice and so on and so forth. So one, let me share my experiences, because it will then guide young people and entrepreneurs and leaders as to what I did right, what I did wrong, and let them learn the lessons from it. This is where you were talking about experience being free if you have soft ears.
Yeah.
So then I put all these books out. And then I said, no, it's not enough. I think I need to actually educate and take charge of certain aspects of it. So I formed the PK Mobile Leadership Foundation. And the aim of it is to create, I realized that the biggest problem we have in Africa is our mindset. We have a very wrong mindset. We can't have time to discuss that. I have a lot to talk to.
I think you need to come back. Coach, what do you think?
So I said PK Mobility Foundation is set up to change the mindset of the African. And you can change mindset of people only through the leadership. So, and I've talked a bit about leadership by example. So, apart from going to schools, coming to studios and talking about the mindset of the African, what to do right, and values and ethics and leadership and all those things, I have a flagship program where I actually recruit 20 young people with leadership foresight, and I take them through military academy, military training for 1 week, but very intensive. And after that, we have boot camps and all sort of things, and I give them one-on-one mentorship, because I need to change, my aim is to change the mindset of the future leaders. Because the trend for Ghana, for example, as in where the country is going, I don't know what you see, but I see it very, very negative. And unless we have people with a different mindset in the system, so that we can give hope a chance, as in if things will change, these people can pick it up. I'm not the only one doing it, but mine is special because it's not about giving you a career per se, but it's about how to change your mindset and let you have the right values and ethics, so that when you are hit with a situation, you take necessary interventions for the betterment of mankind.
Thank you very much, Captain. This is insightful. And this is to our listeners. So we've heard Captain say, when things don't even go your way, it's the same thing he started with, reflection. Asking yourself, what can I do to make an impact? That's awesome. Captain, I hear reflection. I hear. Take it easy. I've been brought here for a purpose. So as you are listening to us, I want you to think about it. You've been brought on this earth for a purpose. What is your purpose? Captain, is that your legacy?
Well, the purpose is not waiting for anybody, but generally translated.
No, about the young people that you are mentoring and coaching now.
If someone... It's a big legacy I want to leave. I'm not sure I will see the outcome of it, but I'm still consumed by it, and that is what I'm doing with the rest of my life. I'm trying to envisaging that I'll increase the numbers maybe to 40 to 50 and then possibly form an academy and put a lot of these decent young people into the system. And my job would have been done. So that's the legacy I want to leave. You're right.
So if you were mentoring your 35-year-old self, what would you say to yourself today?
A whole lot of things. Number one,
because there are young people who are listening to you today.
Yeah, the young people, one thing is that I think they put themselves under too much pressure. They want to compete, they want to be seen in all sorts of places. But one thing that I always know is that I am not better than anybody. And therefore, to young men, you are not better than anybody. And your purpose here is, in your own way, try and make this world a better place. It doesn't have to be something big. It's about, even if you have a kid and you educate that kid, you have left a legacy, and you don't know in 100, 200 years' time what that legacy is going to flourish and become. So be honest about things, be a person with the right values, do the little bit that you can. If God blesses you for you to have a lot, then you have more problems, because when you know that you've been favored, it means a lot more is expected of you.
Captain, thank you very much. So do the little bit that you can.
And
I remember
well.
my grandmother used to say, brighten in the corner where you are.
Absolutely. Brighten in the corner where
So
you
please, wherever you find yourself today, you may be in Kenya, you may be in Nigeria, because we are streaming this on the Baka and LND Africa platforms. Please, Captain is saying, brighten in the corner where you are. So Captain, I heard you say, you read someone who said, if you have more than 150 employees, reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
Is that what you would also say to the young ones?
If they should get there, I mean, this is a book by...
so please take your pens and write the book down.
Book by Yuval Harari. It's an anthropologist, Jewish anthropologist. And he traces the history of mankind. And the book is called Sapiens, as in Homo sapiens. And then he says, with every human endeavor, institution, as you create it from small size, when you get to the figure of 150 members, you have to reinvent yourself. Because, and I could relate to it, because, you see, at UT, before we bought the bank, we were about 200. So we had just passed the 150 mark. But our cultures were still holding, because we were putting a lot, I mean, from me, the leadership, and other leaders. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, then we bought UT, a bank, and rebranded UT Bank. The original idea was to keep the bank separate from financial services. But then Bank of Ghana raised the minimum capital from 7 million to 60 million. So the only way to keep the bank is to merge financial services and the bank. So boom, from 200 to 400 plus. That is the financial service become a bank. Now, consisting of UT financial service staff and the bank staff from the bank that we bought. That wasn't the end of the story. Because the bank didn't have top managers, bankers, then we had to push from almost all the banks in Ghana, from Access Bank, from Standard, from UBA, and they all came with their own individual cultures. So the idea about reinvent yourself after 150. After 150, the leadership is not felt within the entire organization. And therefore, you need to reinvent yourself so you become smaller units. You know who do it to perfection? The churches. The churches do it to perfection. You are a small pastor, then you go and find your place from Hacho area. And then it's like you have an agency. And so that's why you find them everywhere. And it's very effective. And of course, you pay whatever you have to pay to the main church. And it's very effective. So it's not the only way, but you need to reinvent yourself as in to keep the culture going and let other people lead it, because only one person cannot lead it effectively when the number is reached.
So culture has to be transitional.
Absolutely. If I understand you correctly, yes.
And leadership must be intentional about imbibing it.
Absolutely.
So
in fact, if there are a lot of things played a part in UT Bank getting into a few problems, which could have been resolved. But anyway, that's another story.
Which of all the many things, which of them
That
stands
is
out most for you as a
culture.
learning
We
curve?
lost the culture.
You lost your culture
Yeah.
along the way.
Yeah.
And do you think that is the challenge that Africa is facing? Have we lost our values and culture?
That is the biggest problem we have.
How do you think we can reimagine ourselves?
You see, you need to infect people with the culture.
I love that.
So
I love that.
So
you must infect each
yes, you have to infect them with the culture. So,
is
for
powerful.
example, let me take it even at the national level, right? Let's say the president wants us to respect time, and it is necessary and very important that we respect time. So the president attends every meeting on time, and his lieutenants are supposed to do the same. If a minister doesn't attend a meeting on time, they close the door on him, and he is sanctioned. And they are monitored to make sure that their appointments, even outside Jubilee House, are on time. You see where it's coming from. So if it comes from there, it will then have a domino effect, and it will change the culture of not keeping time. Everybody says African time, Ghanaian time. Time is all that we have.
Time is life.
Exactly.
Time is money. It's life.
Because once you know time is life, then you know how to spend your life.
Why are we wasting the time? And we all waste it.
And you cannot take it back. Once it's gone,
No,
it is gone.
Beautiful, beautiful. Captain, thank you so much for the insights and the tidbit you're giving us. Very powerful. We want to go for our song of the day. For all of you listening to us on Unique 95.7, whether you're listening on Becca Africa or LND Africa social media handles, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, this is Growth and Grind Africa. And you'll be given an opportunity to join us in the studio, either via telephone call or via text. We want to hear from you. We want you to be part of the conversation. So stay tight. We'll give out the contacts very shortly. But before then, let's go and listen to the song of the day.
No, 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 no. Oh, yeah. I'm in chains, you're in chains too. Our uniforms and you are uniforms too. I'm a prisoner, you're a prisoner too, Mr. Jailer. Oh, I have fears, you have fears too. I'll die, but you said will die too. Life is beautiful, don't you think so too, Mr. Jailer? I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast the stone, Mr. Jailer. Mr. Jailer, man, you suppress all my strategies. You oppress every part of me. What you don't know, you're a victim too, Mr. Jailer. Oh, you don't care about my point of view. If I die, another will work for you. So you treat me like a modern slave, Mr. Jailer. I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast the stone, Mr. Jailer. Mr. Jailer.
Yes. This is Mr. Jailer, and the song is pivoted around liberation. And right in the studio, we've been talking about mindsets. I think I want to tune it towards mindset liberation.
Yes.
We need to liberate ourselves from the mindsets that are holding us back. And if you've been listening to the interview, Captain has spoken much about systems, values, structures, and leadership. Leadership drives culture, and culture must be infected in the minds, lives, and ingrained, I would like to say, in the soul and spirit of the people. It's time for you to join us in the studio. We have just a few minutes going, and the telephone would just take 2 calls today. So make sure you send text and reach out on Facebook, LinkedIn, or I think Twitter. So the number for the call in is 055 083 4555. 055 083 4555. 055 083 4555. You can call in and join us in the studio. Let's hear from you. What's your take on learning curve and the impact of culture? Okay, I hear there's someone on the line. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Growth and Grind Africa.
Thank you, madam.
Good evening, boss.
My name is Nuya.
Yes, boss. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you, madam. Captain was saying something, and then you said culture and time. I want to talk about the culture and time. Our culture is such a way that sometimes people say we blame the whites too much for everything. But here, like, I don't know whether you have ever seen a hen being knocked, a hen that with a chicken, with its offspring, being knocked by by a car, and you will see how the chickens will start behaving. You see, it's like you have taken something that hold two things together. You have taken the center out of it. That is what has been done to us. That we have not been able to find the link in our lives somewhere along the line. That starting on dealing with time. You see, you are working with somebody, and they give you maybe they try to give you transport allowance, and the transport allowance that they say they are giving you is nothing to write home about. But here is someone who is ahead of you, who has maybe he or she has a car. You all wake up at the right time. Maybe you sleep for 8 hours. You wake up at the same time. But here is you is going to stand by the roadside. You are going to pick a vehicle to the roadside. He has gotten a vehicle, or he has a means of transport, and you have used that vehicle to how do you match up with the time?
Thank you so much, Nina.
At the same time.
Yes, thank you so much, Nina. I think that was a very interesting contribution. So the question is, how do I maximize my time within the resources that I have available to me? Thank you, Nina. So let's get back to the studio while we wait for text or any of the other messages. Captain.
There's a second caller.
There's a second caller. Okay. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Growth and Grind Africa.
Yeah, good evening, madam.
Good evening, boss.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, boss.
How are you?
I'm awesome. Yourself? Nice to have you on the show. Please shoot.
Yes, I'm in your territory. I'm in Osis. I'm in Inaku.
Okay, Ni.
You see, the captain has said it all. We have to obey the time, because that's what makes Europe and America and even China now great. Because God gave you time. If you make you are trying to cheat something that is teaching you back, we are not moving forward. But I thank Captain, tell him more blessing.
God bless you. God bless you, Ni. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah,
thank you, Ni. Thank you for calling in. So, getting back to the studio, Captain, I think everybody is banking around the issue of time, and that is life, like we have said. In wrapping up our time, it's almost up in the studio. What key lesson would you want to share with not just Africans, but our interest is more the young and future of Africa? young professionals, young entrepreneurs that are coming up, what one lesson would you want to share with them to take away
Okay, thank you very
from
much.
the show?
Let's stay with time a little bit more. Human beings generally need only two things. Two. So it's easy for those listening to remember. The first thing is that every human being wants to save time. It's in our DNA. I think it's coming from the fact that we know we have limited time on earth. So you see the way people rush for sometimes no reason. Somebody goes into a lift, the lift is going to close anyway, and he keeps banging on close the door. I mean, for how many seconds? 1 second. So it's in our DNA. Every human being wants to save time. Now, the second thing is every human being wants to feel good, have quality time. Again, it's about the time. That's the two.
Save time and quality time.
Yes. So if you're doing business, you must ask yourself, what I want to do, is it going to save time compared to what the competition is providing? Or is it going to give quality time as far as the customers are concerned? Just the two questions. Incidentally, development, the real meaning of development and when it's achieved is when you are able to save time and have quality time. Advanced countries have ways and means of saving time and giving their people quality time in terms of health, good roads, etc. So it shows the importance of time. You cannot underestimate. You don't just say it. That is what we are about, to save time and have quality time, period. So in business, in your attitude, in governance, in leadership, that should be your main focus. If you love your people, how do I save them time? How do I make their lives better? You're done. Really, you need trials, UT, and so on and so forth. What students hours alone in 48 hours? We responded to the needs of the informal sector and the SMEs. And that separated us from the competition.
Captain, I see your books. Please talk to us about your books. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so...
But did you ever think you were going to be an author?
No. I started by saying, let me write a UT story, write a book about what happened at UT. And I got my friend, actually, he convinced me that I should write a book. That's George Bentum Isiao. So we set out to write one book, the UT story. And then George came to me and said, Chief, the information in here, if you really want to educate people, then we don't have to just put all the way together. Let's break it so the lessons will sit with them. So I said, okay, then let's break it, maybe the beginning up to the unique trust financials or UT, and then we talk about the bank. So the first book...
So is this the first one?
No, the first book is UT Story, Humble Beginnings. This one talks about when we started from Kantamanto. We started with a staff of myself and 3 staff. And we had 1 table, 1 office, no curtains, no toilet facilities, none. And the problems that we went through, and it's good for beginners of businesses, and how we went through it, started raising funds, how we raised the funds, how we employ people, and so on and so forth. That is the first book. The second book is UT Story Volume 2, Building a Winning Team. This is about structures, about the culture, it's about expansion. Because, with the 3 people that we started, not only did we have the best non-bank financial institution and all the awards that you talked about, we had presence in Nigeria, South Africa, Hamburg, and at one point, the UT that we started with 3 people were employing directly over 2,500 people. So the growth is captured in the book 2. Now, book 3 is about the bank. How come we came to the decision to buy a bank? What happened and the decisions that we took, and the title is Faithful Decisions, because we had a lot of challenges and we had to take decisions. Some of them right, some of them wrong. But we bought a bank, and the bank became the first indigenous bank to win Bank of the Year award. So we started on a good note. Today, if you hear about standard banking, UT started it because we asked the question, why do banks close at 1:30 when Makola women and workers are closing at 5? So then we extended banking service to 6 p.m. And we put a bit of fear into the whole banking system. And they followed suit because we're leading the way.
That's lovely.
So there's a good side in the third book, and also things that happened, the culture that we lost, and things like which brought us on our knees, and then finally the government, at the time, for its own reason, decided to collapse the bank.
Where can we get your books? If somebody's listening and say, I want to read, I want to get a copy of your book,
almost
Captain.
everywhere. EPP Bookshop.
EPP Bookshop.
Kingdom Books and Stationery. Airport Shell. But if you're not in Accra, the best thing is to go to booknook.store. It's online.
You can get a soft copy. Beautiful. Beautiful. So if you want to connect more with Captain, not just in the studio because our time is so short, you can go to booknook.store.
Book and then Nook, N-O-O-K.
BOOK.store online. You can get soft copies of the book, EPP Bookshop and Kingdom Bookshop. It's always good to learn and experience the experience by learning from those who have already experienced. So don't wait to experience certain experiences. Go get a copy of your book.
You should have soft ears.
Go get a copy of your book. Captain, your last words, please, as we wrap up the show.
I think
final words.
Generally to the people of Ghana, and especially the youth and up and coming people, our lives here on earth is not about us. It's about what we can do to make this world a better place. So our aim should be, how can we lift people up? How can we solve problems? And we must solve problems that exist in where I believe God put us, especially the youth, in Ghana for a purpose. So for those who want to run away and go because they are frustrated and things, I can understand. But if you leave Ghana and not come back, then you have disappointed God.
Thank you so much, Captain.
So much. I love that.
Do not take for granted where you are. There's a purpose why God has put you where you are. So look for the problems around you. Somebody text on Facebook, he said, Captain, thank you for blessing us with a can-do spirit. And he was asking, how can a Ghanaian business grow and go global so we can count billions? I think you have answered it. Look for the problems, solve the problems. Always ask yourself, how can I save time? How can I make and have quality time? How can I save time? How can I make and have quality time?
Another message from Mefili.
Okay, there's one from Mefili. He says, I was in charge of his generator maintenance at his residence. Love you, Daddy, Eddie Murphy. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. That's sweet. Thank you so much, Murphy. And we're wrapping it up on Growth and Grind Africa today. Just a few announcements. We have L&D Africa Conference coming up in October. If you haven't signed up, please sign up. Go to L&D Africa, go to the website, go to their social media handles on LinkedIn. You get the link to sign up. And Becca Africa is also having a webinar. You know, it's all about leadership, growth, and empowerment across Africa. And this Saturday, it's from vision to legacy on the leadership dialogue, building institutions that outlast leaders. And our speakers are Ami E. Green from IOD, Institute of Directors Sierra Leone, and we also have the CEO of Institute of Directors Ghana, Dr. Alfred Brimer. Don't miss it for anything. Go to Becca Africa social media handles and you can register. It's free of charge. Let's learn how to build institutions that outlast us. Coach Margaret, can I have your final word to the audience?
It's been an amazing time, and I'm sure you also picked up a lot, just like I did. I realized that culture is very important when you are setting up a business. I also learned that it's important to ask yourself, where is the gap? What is the gap? What can I do about it? And we shouldn't forget that when we work with people, they are our family. They are our first family. Captain, thank you very much. And I know who my first family is.
Your workers.
My workers.
They help make your vision a reality.
If you don't serve your internal customers well, you will not be able to serve your external customers.
They are actually your advocates. Yes. Thank you so much, Coach Margaret. Captain, it's so nice to have you on the show. As a wrap up, remember, this is your transformative talk show. We don't just leave you, we leave you with tools. What are you taking away today, a few questions for reflection. And I'm summing up from everything that Captain has said. Your values, your culture. Leadership builds and must infect culture in the life, in the minds, in the soul and the spirit of their people. Inject them with the culture. Build systems and policies that create an enabling environment for your values to be lived by the people that you lead. And most importantly, always ask yourself, how can I save time? How can I make quality time? Where am I? What are the problems where I am? Because that is why you are there. If you can find the problems and find the solution to the problems, you are already a success story. Keep reinventing yourself, keep growing, keep grinding. Thank you for joining us. And wherever you are, please keep it real. Be relevant. Remember your takeaway from today: culture, culture, culture. How, as a leader, can I infect my people with a growing culture that promotes values? Thank you so much, and it was great having you on our show. From us in the studio, from Captain, Coach Margaret, it's a
Keep on learning it, living it, and leading it. Thank you.
God bless, and see you next week.